You are listening to I Am Refocused Radio with your host, Shamaya Reed. This show is designed to inspire you to live your purpose and regain your focus. And now, here's your host, Shamaya Reed.
Welcome back to I Am Refocused Radio. Once again, we are here and we have another segment with a returning guest, speaker, entrepreneur, Pam Dwyer. She is the founder and the creator of two special things. The founder of Delay the Binge and also the creator of the +1 theory. She's coming back on the show today to talk about another topic, and that is quiet depletion. What does that actually look like in real life? Especially for those, we are really good at filters, right? Instagram, we love to edit our photos and love to edit our scenes in life. But what happens when it gets kind of crazy and you have to understand, I have to slow down.
That's right.
You got to do those breathing skills, right? But you also have to understand what is really going on. So we're going to dig deeper into that. But first and foremost, I want to welcome back Pam to the show and say what's going on, because there's a lot of things changing since we met.
I know, Shamaya, you're busy, I'm busy, but that's what we prayed for, right? Just get the message out. So everything's going great. I've just learned to be patient and just focus on getting that message out and helping people. That's what I've been doing.
And you know what's
possible.
You know what's funny about that is when we get what we prayed for.
Yes. I've been told, be careful what you pray for.
It's like we opened a whole warehouse of gifts.
Yes.
And we are opening each package to find out where it came from. Mm-hmm. And that's where me and you are right now. We're opening all these packages of gifts. And you know what? We're going to have to hire a team of people and just distribute these packages, all these great people, and help their prayers get answered. Because what's great about this is stewardship. It's something that I actually going to be talking about with another friend. He has a show, a Bible show, that we talk about questions on the fly. And that's going to be one of our topics we're going to explore, because the funny thing is stewardship is never boring. But it is a simple application. Like, the responsibility is very, simple. It is not complicated. It's just more, we like to make things more complicated than what they truly are. Sometimes it's like stepping back and say, all right, bottom line, what am I supposed to be doing as a leader?
Yes, and be the vessel, right? You know, being a vessel is, sometimes it's a lot of work. I mean, we're just doing a little pinch of what we're supposed, of the vast way of things. We're just a little piece of it. But
that's a great segue to my first question for today.
Okay.
And that is, what are some of the signs that someone can start saying, you know what, I'm starting to feel a little depleted because life is happening, stuff is going on, and I'm kind of feeling tired?
Right. And it will show itself eventually, because I use the term quiet depletion a lot in my work and on the Delay the Binge podcast, because so many of us, I'm finding it's a lot of women, but I have found some men as well, because y'all work hard too. But the term quiet depletion is used to describe a slow exhaustion that builds when you keep going without ever really stopping to check in on yourself, because you're going to ignore anything that you are feeling or thinking because you have everything else to do. You have everyone else to take care of. You have your career, you have your job, you have your family, you have your friends, you have your social life, and you want it all to be amazing. And it is, right? But then you start noticing, man, why am I not feeling any joy? Why am I not feeling anything at all? I'm just numb inside. What is happening? So I guess the answer to your question is, you're going to notice that you start numbing out. You start just not finding joy in much of anything, even though you should. You know that you're blessed, but you don't feel anything there. And then you start seeking, your body and your brain will start seeking out a relief, comfort, some kind of a dopamine rush. And that is when we start forming unhealthy patterns, unhealthy habits. The brain loves patterns. It doesn't matter, though, if it's good or bad. But a lot of times we overwork. We overstimulate ourselves. We overwork, we overdrink, we overeat. We do all the things that are not serving our bodies well. It's not keeping us strong. Mine personally was food. I weighed 300 pounds once upon a time. And I didn't realize at that time that I was quietly depleted. I was exhausted and I was just seeking relief in food. And that's what our tendency is. That's what we tend to do, is we just want to survive. We want relief, but just quickly. We want a quick relief. We don't want it long term. We don't have time to think about that.
What do you think is the hidden cost that people experience when they are in that mindset of, I'm going to still push, I'm going to keep pushing because I'm supposed to be strong, I'm supposed to be, available, I'm supposed to just keep going? What's that hidden cost, though, that starts to creep up on them if they don't slow down and say, wait, hold up, maybe I'm putting too much on the plate at once. Maybe I need to delegate. Maybe I need to say no to some things. Maybe I need to get with Pam and say, hey, we need a meeting because, my business needs your services.
Well, you have to, it's a mindset, okay? Because first of all, a lot of people don't even realize that they have this issue. They are just going through life and everything is the way it's supposed to be, and they don't really take time. So Delay the Binge is all about a pause, right? Taking a moment to understand what is really going on inside. Why am I about to drink my 5th glass of wine during the week when I promised myself I was only going to drink on the weekends? Why am I eating this very large piece of chocolate cake after devouring pizza, knowing that it's not going to serve me well? It's going to make me gain weight and I'm not going to feel good. But I still do it. So that's the key, is when you notice that, because we're all smart, Shemaiah, we've educated ourselves. We know what we should and shouldn't do, but we still do it. That's the problem. And that's where Delay the Binge comes in, because we teach you how to pause with purpose. And you do that by just making yourself aware, stopping just for a second before you consume, before you try to relieve yourself, and ask yourself, what am I really feeling? What is really going on inside of me? Why am I doing this? If you take that brief moment, it's the brain, the pause is what gives you time to bring your frontal cortex back online, because the lower part of your brain is the one telling you to get the temporary relief. It's trying to protect you, right? It's trying to say, here, eat this pizza or drink this wine, or, go log back into work. Even though it's 10 o'clock at night, you need to do these things so that you can rest. That's what your lower brain's telling you. And your frontal part of your brain is offline. The only way to bring it back online, it's like a computer, is if you pause for a moment to just ask yourself, what's really going on?
If someone is watching this and listening, they're like, that sounds great. That sounds amazing. I mean, I really love that. But if you look at my schedule, my life is so hectic at this moment. Why would I make time to pause if I feel like, man, if I pause, I might miss 20 meetings? What do you say to that person who thinks they're that busy?
Well, I would introduce them to the +1 theory, because the +1 theory is all about applying yourself, going above and beyond, but in small, intentional steps. So this pause is not about doing it all right now. It's about doing one small thing in that direction, giving yourself some space and grace, I say, to allow yourself to just think for a moment, why I'm about to partake in this unhealthy thing, in this urge, or even in your thoughts. We're our own worst enemies. We're the most critical of ourselves. We are full of shame and doubt, and that does affect your performance. And sometimes you just have to stop for a moment and think, okay, what's really going on? What am I ignoring? What do I not want to see? And so it only takes seconds, Shemaiah. So it's not like it takes, a lot of time to take a moment for yourself. Just take a deep breath, drop your shoulders for a second, and then just think about why you're about to do what you're about to do when you shouldn't.
We talked a little bit in the green room, like they would say, before we start recording, that, things get crazy good when you ask for something and you like, wow, I got way more than what I even asked for. And that's a good problem to have. But a lot of times people can get overwhelmed, and then we can become our worst enemy, because even though we practice all the things you're saying, that still sometimes gets people in a situation where they still beat themselves up afterwards, like, man, I should have did this, blah, blah, blah. How do we quiet that noise down and give ourselves, like you said earlier, grace in between those processes?
Well, you just have to remember to be curious, okay? The more curious you are about what your behavior is, the more you can understand who you are and what you are needing to be at your healthiest and strongest. I mean, I learned early in life from our last interview, that my childhood was just filled with abuse and neglect and dysfunction. And so a person from that background learns real early how to take a moment before you react, because you have to think before you get hurt, physically hurt or mentally hurt. And we carry that with us into adulthood. And a lot of us may not have had that childhood, but we still have the shame, the fear of connecting, of being vulnerable, all those things. So we protect ourselves. And we do that by just focusing on the task at hand, getting it done because nobody else can do it like me. So perfectionism comes in there too. So we have to just be curious and just do little small things that are going to help you eventually be stronger and better at what you're doing, and enjoy your life, enjoy the results instead of thinking, oh my gosh, I'm overwhelmed. I mean, time passes anyway, correct? So how we use it is up to us. But you don't have to do everything all at once. I think a lot of us think that way. Sometimes I do even, where I think, okay, I've got to take care of this thing right now, all of it, 100% or nothing, And that's just not the case, because time's going to pass anyway. You might as well just do one little thing each and every day to be better. But if you don't know what the goal is, if you don't know what you're trying to do or trying not to do, then how are you going to apply small steps to that? And so you just have to start taking a moment to understand what your pain is or what your struggle is. Because let's face it, most of us don't know what we were thinking or feeling like 2 weeks ago or a week ago, because we're so busy and we're depleting ourselves, exhausting ourselves. So, there's a lot of things you can do. You can journal. People always roll their eyes when I say that. And literally, you just write a sentence or two every day about why you are doing this one thing, this urge, this behavior. Well, this happened, and so I did this. The end, you've journaled it. And then 2 weeks, you go by, and I promise you will see the pattern. You will see what's causing it. So that doesn't mean that you can get rid of whatever's causing it all at once. You can't just cold turkey quit your job, say, or your marriage or whatever in relationships. But you can slowly, step by step, start making a path to where you can go and be free of that, whatever is happening to you. But you're not going to know unless you get curious and start trying to figure it out. And it doesn't take a lot of time. It can happen while you're doing what you're doing that's making you so busy.
Once again, watching us online and listening on Refocused Radio, talking to our returning guest, Pam Dwyer. She is the founder of the Delay the Binge collective and creator of the +1 theory. We were talking about quiet depletion. You know what's funny about life is it never knocks on your door and says, here comes conflict, here comes a challenge. It usually just shows up. And one thing I notice is that the better you are at stepping back and then move, then the better you move. Because the initial reaction we like to do, some of us are really good at just being perfect, but not me. We like to react quickly. And the problem with acting quickly, instantly reacting to the problem is... It's like I talked to a person before this episode. It's like hot coffee or hot soup. If we just react and move with emotion and we're like, oh my God, what's going on? Panic, that's dangerous, right? So we have to be careful. And the only way you can do that is you have to pause. You have to step back. You have to understand, okay, what's the best move after this? Because if you don't do that, then you just move around reacting to every little thing. And then that just, right, it just goes higher and higher and higher until, you can't even hold it no more. And then, don't be in that room. Because then at that point...
That nervous breakdown that people talk about, because the body is trying to tell you all along. Your body is amazing and your brain is trying to tell you, I need to be comforted, but... You don't lack discipline. You don't lack willpower. It's just your pain trying to tell your body, help me. This is starting to be too much. And so, a lot of times we seek that in the wrong ways, but then this too. So what the pause does, it's about the moment before the habit kicks in. The pause right before you reach for relief. So if you visualize that, if you're intentional about visualizing the pause and what it can do for you, the pause is powerful and it's filled with purpose. But you have to decide what that is. And the only way you can do it is if you pause for a moment.
Yeah, just imagine you're driving in San Antonio, amazing traffic, right? What's cool is you're cool. What's not cool is when we overreact and we just want to mirror the problem that's on the road. Instead of mirroring the problem that's out there, you have to be the opposite of that problem. You have to be the one that says, cool heads shall prevail. It's not about, I have to force myself to be the right one, to be correct, to be the first one heard, to be the loudest. Because that doesn't work. You don't have to be super chill. Some people are chill, but there's a balance, right? It can't be over the top as well. Because if you're too extreme, nothing works for you. Nothing actually gets done. It's almost like you're passing a ball that's on fire, and both people have gasoline around them. That's a dangerous place to be in. You have to stop and say, hold up, this is not good. So we have to cut this off now before it gets out of control.
Our society is suffering because we're ignoring it, right? We're like, I'm fine, really. But we're ignoring it and it's showing itself. Our bodies are speaking to us with obesity or, diabetes, all those. A lot of sick illnesses can be resolved if you just focus on what's stressing you out, what's causing you to do the things that are making this happen to you. I try to give people, a real easy way to remember how to pause. I have a 3-step pause system. And it's notice, pause, and ask. So first you notice, and that's where you name it, right? The urge is here. I'm not judging myself. I know that I'm about to do this thing. let's just use food. I'm about to eat this food that I know doesn't serve me. It makes me feel bad. So then second is the pause, right? The pause is one. I take one deep, slow breath, drop my shoulders, because for some reason that action causes me to think and not react. It keeps me proactive. And then ask. That's the third thing is, what do I actually need right now? Now what should I do? What do I really need? And then even if someone still chooses the habit, that pause teaches their nervous system something new. Delay doesn't mean deny. It just means decide with devotion.
Yeah, you said a word that I think is very important, devotion. You can ask yourself this question too. What are you devoted to? Mm-hmm. When you are able to answer that question, that might help you find the answer that's going to help you. Because when we are real and honest, okay, maybe I don't need to eat another bag of chips tonight. Maybe I can wait till tomorrow at lunchtime. I'm not being funny, but I don't mean it's true. Fun, but it's true, because if we're not careful, we will make everything a problem except look in the mirror. At one point, we have to actually see ourselves for what we are, and then we can make better moves. Then we can start the healing process. And disclaimer, I can't say I know everything about this topic, so if you need professional help, please do that. I have to make that disclaimer. But just personally speaking, when you take the time to say, okay, let me just look at myself real quick. Let me look at myself. What am I doing? What am I contributing that's causing this domino effect?
Well, and if you're not careful, your body will force you to look. And when you're snapping at your kids or your husband or wife, when you're irritable, like you said, when you're on the road, you just want to, you're so filled with this anger, and you're thinking, why am I like this? It's because you're exhausted. Beat yourself up about it. You just need to realize what's causing it. And then that's when you start pausing before that happens. When I started putting words to all of this, that's when I realized, it was for myself, right? To get through a lot of different things, that life happens, and a lot of health issues for me. But then I realized other people were going through something very similar. And that's when I was really led to share my experience, and it was helping other people relate. And then they started pausing. They started delaying the binge. So, that's what prompted me. My book will publish probably this year sometime. I don't know yet when I'll do that, but I have so much research and so many people that have shared their stories with me, and they have, shared their journey, where they are now, where Delay the Binge has led them. It's incredible. And, we don't fix our lives all at once, Shemaya. You make those small intentional shifts, the +1. And again, time passes no matter what you choose to do with it. And just remember, you don't have to fix everything. You don't have to feel everything. You just have to pause, long enough to listen and hear what your body and brain are trying to tell you.
Those listening and watching us, what will you say is a good video to go to right now if they go to your channel and you can plug it? Oh my goodness. What's a good first video that they can watch right now that you would suggest that they start out watching?
There is one I just recently put on because everybody kept inquiring about Delay the Binge podcast, and I did that. But I would recommend, there's one that is called Quiet Depletion, what it really is. And it explains it in a way I think that a lot of people can understand, because it can be confusing and it can seem like, why would I do this? I don't think that's the issue here. I'm just tired. But if you listen to that video and it says Quiet Depletion, what it's really about. But yeah, if you go to my YouTube channel is Pam Dwyer Speaker. So if you search on that or Pam Dwyer, you should pull that channel up. And there's all kinds of helpful videos there, especially of the podcast. And I've been interviewing a lot of guests lately that are experts in certain fields that will help you address the mindset or address the issues you're having with your health. We're just trying to help the community. We want to connect and we want to help people with experts. And those people are flocking to this show because, they want to reach out and help people as well, because mindset gets overlooked. It gets neglected, and I don't know why. That's why we have all these tools, Shemaya, like the GLP-1s, right? Everybody's using those to lose weight. But what they don't think about is, I don't want to be on this forever. But if they get off it, they're going to start eating again like they were before. Why don't they just think about why they did that in the first place? Even bariatric surgery, there's so many ways to use tools, but people fully expect the tool to do it all for them. They don't think about maintaining the progress. They either start over again, which they've lost all that effort, or, they just continue to rely on the tool, and eventually the tool will wear out. You have to figure out why you're there in the first place.
Yeah, sometimes a long road home is a lot better than the shortcut that you thought was good, and all it did was delay you even further. So that's one thing to keep in mind, and that is, when you are on your life journey, it is you. All right, no one's going to live it for you. Like, that's you. That's you. It's all on you. No pressure. But that's the truth. That's the reality. If we live in a la-la land, that life just magically gets better because we just have these amazing positive thoughts and it's just going to work itself out. I mean, maybe in a cartoon or a movie, that's what happens. But in reality, once we understand that life is real, only you can live your life. So you watching this, you listening to this, only you can make the next move. Ask yourself, what do you want to do? Like, what do you want to do? What's going to inspire you? What is something that you want to do? And I know you probably like, Shemaya, you yapping a lot, man. Land the plane. But hear me out. 30 more seconds, I'll stop yapping. But hear me out. Life starts to move in the direction of how you are thinking and moving. Thinking and moving. So action. Life doesn't move if you're only thinking about it. Mm-hmm. I can think about this show all day long until I start interviewing people, and it's not going nowhere. I can do the same thing I've been doing since the barbershop days in 2017. If I did that, this show wouldn't be doing what it's doing, right? Same thing for whoever's watching this and listening to this. Whatever it is you want to do, understand you can't do it all at once. Mm-hmm. You can't win all the games in one day. Babe Ruth said it best. You can't win today's games with yesterday's home runs. So you got to keep swinging. Like, if all you can do is take from this quiet depletion topic from this episode, keep swinging that bat, man. Keep showing up.
Yeah.
If you do those little small details, you'll be amazed how your life will start to look better than what it is right now. And when I say better, disclaimer, I'm not ever going to preach to people and say it's about making X amount of money and that's where your happiness is, about getting this and that. And that's like, no. It's about understanding what you are trying to do with your life. What is your purpose? What is it that makes you excited? You can say, well, it's my land the plane. Trust me, the fuel's low. It's about to land. You have to understand it is not about a short, fast race.
Yep.
Life is a marathon. Captain Obvious, I know. But it's how you navigate day in, day out, and you get to choose that. Day in and day out. You get to choose. Mm-hmm. No one gets to choose it for you. So with that, Pam, I would say what you want to say to our listeners, our viewers, as they are on this journey with you, watching you grow, you blowing up on YouTube. What some of the things you want them to know before we close out?
Well, I'd like to talk about a little bit on what you just said, and it's about motivation. You know, I've learned firsthand, and I help others learn that if you wait to be motivated, it will never happen. The inspiration happens where you educate yourself, you get curious, and then you're inspired to learn more about what's happening to me and not lose sight of you. You matter, your identity, who you are, why you're on this earth. You can only understand that if you do the first two, inspire, educate. Motivation happens after you act. And, you know, we don't use the word discipline, you know, where you force yourself to go into the act. We use the word devotion. Stay devoted to yourself, to who you are, so you can continue to show up strong for those you love, for your job, whatever it is that you're just busting your tail doing right now. You know, so all I can tell you is one pause today is enough to get started on the rest of your life.
That's the mic drop.
Boom.
I ain't got nothing else to say. That's it. I'll see you on the next episode, because there ain't nothing else to say. Wipe that cake is done. You don't need to bake no more. Yeah. So with that, how can people stay connected in what you're doing? Because I know we've been wanting to do more episodes like this, and I can see us doing that. I think we'll have some breaks in between, but in the meantime, how can people stay connected to you? Because I heard from Little Bird that you do some more additional services, so kind of plug yourself.
Yes, you can definitely. The best way to stay in tune to everything happening with the podcast is to sign up on the email list, delaythebinge.com or delaythebingepodcast.com. Either one will get you to that list to sign up on, because I send out a lot of tips, a lot of helpful information. But yes, I've also started with my company, TPKK Concepts, doing podcast editing. So, if you need help, if you need a lot of heart and someone that genuinely cares about what you're trying to do in the world, I can help you do that. Because I call myself a strategist or a brand therapist. It's not marketing, okay? It's different. But you have to brainstorm. You have to get the inspiration and the education first. And then we can run out there with whatever it is you're trying to do. But a podcast is a great way to do it. And if you need help with that, I'm your gal.
Well, you better hit up Pam before she says VIP only, because I'm telling you, once she hits that threshold of 100 clients, yeah, she might say VIP. We might have to slow this down a little bit. I had to have my sub team kind of help me with this project. But nonetheless, on a serious note, definitely check out what she does online. If you can, for our audience, plug your website one more time.
DelayTheBinge.com.
And with that, I want to say to Pam, thank you for your time.
Thank you, Shemaiah. Thank you so much for having me.